I really shouldn't have to make this video, but as a wise person once said, there are the two easiest things that you can do as a living person: breathe oxygen and piss off anime fans on the internet. And it seems like today I've managed to do both of those things with minimal effort, and so I wanted to take the time in this video to respond to it in kind and with the nuance that it so deserves, because I do genuinely believe that this is an important topic that needs to be talked about, which unfortunately a lot of people on the internet have seemed to have completely misconstrued. Something that the internet is very, very good at. So what exactly am I talking about? Well, yesterday I uploaded a reel onto my social media, which has garnered quite a bit of attention, for better or worse. On Instagram alone, accruing over 3,000 comments in the span of 11 hours. Ooh, that can't be good. So just to catch you up to speed here, in case you didn't see the reel, which by the way, I've left in the link in the description if you want to watch it in its full context, but TLDR, I was responding to a reel that I saw of an anime hot take that stated that we need more female protagonists in anime. To which I responded by listing off the top of my head around 40 different anime series with female protagonists from different genres and different decades that a lot of people have said are fantastic series, a lot of which I personally vouch as great series with interesting and well-written female protagonists in them. But of course, people took this way out of context and decided to shit all over me for it, so let's look at some of those comments and respond to them in kind, shall we? Bro, now make the same video naming all the animes with male leads and protagonists. I bet we will be here much longer. Not to mention, a ton of those stories are male-centered and also alienate women from them. First of all, I've already done a video like that many years ago. Also, to assume that I have somehow managed to, within a 1-minute reel, to list off all the anime with female protagonists is pretty ignorant. I don't even think I touched upon 1% of anime that happen to have female protagonists or some kind of female representation in them, and I think I did a pretty good job of naming as many as possible within a 1-minute time frame. And what do you mean alienating women from them? Like, most if not all of the anime I listed, and many more, can very easily be viewed and enjoyed by women or men, or literally any person. If you personally don't feel comfortable with a show, then don't watch it. Go and watch something else that makes you more comfortable. Her opinion still stands. Just because these exist, it doesn't mean there can't be more. If there's one thing I hate more than anything, is when people put words into my mouth. Because when did I ever say or even insinuate that I didn't want more female representation in anime? The point I was making was that there is actually already a massive pre-existing list of fantastic anime with great, well-written female protagonists that go beyond series like Sailor Moon or Madoka Magica, but the problem is that the majority of anime fans are too busy watching shonen protagonists with male leads in them because it's popular and mainstream. I mean, she does have a point. If we go to the ones from the past like 15 years, there aren't that many that are popular, and I guess that's her point. Okay, so did we all just forget the existence of Frieren or Apothecary Diaries? Modern anime with a strong female lead that is arguably more popular and made the rounds much further than the majority of the big shonen anime out there. Also, we literally have Witch Hat Atelier that is streaming right now that is arguably the most talked about anime of this season. Like, it's so obvious to see when people see the entirety of anime as just the Shonen Jump battle action manga adaptations, because if you take 5 seconds to look into this, then you would know that literally every season of the past 15 and more years have had many great and talked about and popular anime that have well-written female leads in them, which in my opinion, quality-wise, beats out a lot of the male-oriented shonen battle stuff. Yeah, but it's overwhelming how many men there are in main character roles. We could always use more representation. Okay, I'm gonna use this comment here to cover, I guess, the most contentious point that was made in a lot of the comments of this reel. It's this whole idea that, yeah, but some of the most popular anime out there right now are all male-led. First of all, the word shonen when we are referring to shonen manga and anime is the Japanese word for young boy. As in, that's the demographic that was in mind when these authors wrote the story. And naturally, what kind of character are young male readers going to relate to the most and self-insert the most and enjoy the most? It's other men. The reason why shonen has been so incredibly popular in the quote-unquote mainstream of manga and anime for the longest time, even before anime and manga became the mainstream success that it is today, is because for the longest time, the majority of consumers of manga and anime were men. But as of only recently, with manga and anime now escaping from the weirdo or creep stereotype that has existed in Japan and the West for the longest time, we are seeing a massive influx of women and people of all sorts of walks of life enjoying manga and anime just as the men that have been dominating the space for many decades. And by the way, shout out to all the girlies who love manga and anime. You guys are fucking awesome. But man, if only there was a genre of manga and anime that focused primarily on the female demographic that consisted of primarily female protagonists. Oh wait, it exists. It's called shoujo, which not only has had just as much of a colorful history in the manga and anime world as shonen and all these other genres, but also 99.9% of the time has female protagonists. The problem here isn't that female protagonists are underrepresented. It's that the genre that has established female protagonists are underrepresented. And if you're a dude sitting there thinking to themselves, oh, Joey, I can't read shoujo manga or watch shoujo anime because I can't relate to it and I'm not going to enjoy it because it's mostly a female audience that consumes it, then I dare you to read or watch Nana or Chihayafuru or Fruits Basket and say that they are not good anime whatsoever. Also, if we want more female representation to be known in the anime and manga space, then why don't we all make the collective effort to actually talk about series that have female representation or that have a female protagonist in them, and try and spread the word of fantastic shoujo series or josei series or even shonen series that have interesting female leads in them, because as I've mentioned many times, they do exist and have always existed. Like my last two videos on the Anime Man channel literally have interesting and well-written female leads, but the problem is that nobody watched those series regardless of how great they are because they're too busy gargling on the balls of JJK and Naruto and all these other mainstream shows that are male-led while continuing to complain about the lack of female representation. Alright, now name one where the woman isn't sexualized at all. Takopi's Original Sin, Girls Last Tour, Violet Evergarden, Carol and Tuesday. Oh, and I don't know if you've forgotten literally every other Ghibli film in existence. What we actually need is more well-written female characters in action shonens. Those are harder to come by than female protagonists. I wanted to highlight this comment in particular because I actually fully agree with this take, and I was never disagreeing with this take either. I do think that yes, it would be pretty cool to see strong, well-written female protagonists in action shonen, for example. I mean, we obviously already have series like Claymore, Black Lagoon, and Medica Box, but who even watched those, right? And I don't want it to come off like, I don't want any more female representation in my anime, because that's clearly not true and absolutely ridiculous, because of course I do. But until we wait for more examples of those kinds of series, then we should, as a community, explore and spread the good word of series from the past that have been able to do that, so that the wider anime audience can see that, look, over the years, there have been many fantastic, well-written anime with great female leads from all sorts of genres and all of the decades, but you haven't heard of them because they're old. Okay. I think she meant ones that are as popular as like Goku, Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. Didn't Spirited Away literally win an Academy Award and put anime on the map for many people, especially in the West, who had never even heard of anime before? Spoiler, this movie has a very well-written female protagonist in it. She said more, and most of the shows are not good. Okay, sorry that you don't like any of these shows, or you don't think that any of them are good. That That's just not my problem, big dog. He literally said the point at the beginning, telling only 2 anime for the obvious point mean that the other with female protagonists are not that obvious, and this is problematic when there is like so much more anime with male protagonists that are way more obvious than the first 2 he mentioned. I never understand why people, oftenly men, don't want the other to be represented as much as they are. Jesus Christ, people pretend like I'm the one responsible for the lack of female representation in shonen anime or something. Like, what do you want me to do about it, dog? If anything, I just did the opposite. I literally promoted a bunch of anime with female leads and protagonists that maybe people have not heard of, that people should definitely go and check out. Not just because they have female protagonists in them, but they're genuinely great anime that maybe a lot of people have not heard of or seen. Like, what do you want me to do? Go to the fucking Shueisha headquarters and grab them by the collar and shake them, being like, give us more female protagonists, goddammit! If you want female MCs to have more representation in anime, talk about them, explore it, discuss it, share it on the internet, like I've been doing for many years. But no, you won't, because you'll just continue to complain about an agenda that is completely overblown, and then go home and continue to watch your Narutos and JJKs and One Piece and Demon Slayers, because those are the series that will get you clicks on TikTok. Okay, I'm done here. I feel like I've defended myself enough, and if I continue to read more of these brain dead comments, then I'm just going to lose my fucking mind. But I think the point has been made. The bottom line that I want to make here is that people should stop taking for granted the pre-existing list of anime series with great female protagonists. Regardless of how popular or mainstream these shows tend to be, they do exist. You literally just need to search on the internet for 5 seconds to find that the list that I shared in that reel is probably not even 1% of what actually exists out there. Like, you literally have the internet at your fingertips. Go and search for yourself and find out. Once again, I will very happily welcome with open arms more female representation in anime, but can we all stop pretending that it doesn't exist just because you don't know that they exist? Instead of complaining about it, can we actually celebrate the ones that do exist and that need more attention and more mainstream time, quote unquote, and that more anime fans need to watch? And then when we get the next iteration of it, then we can talk about it, we can discuss it, we can celebrate it, because God forbid other art mediums don't have as much female representation as anime and manga. But yeah, that's it. Let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite anime with great female representation or a great female MC? Because again, I probably touched not even 1% of it in my reel, and I'm sure that I missed a lot of very obvious ones. But yeah, this just reminds me why I'm so sick of the modern day anime community, bro. Too many people fucking complaining and just taking the medium for granted. Like, can we just be happy that we can even watch anime at all, please? But anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smack my face right here, subscribe to the channel. Let's keep making big channel number go bigger. Over here is next to my head is a couple more videos you can check out if you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.